Hi, my loves. Welcome back to the Starscartel channel. If you don't know, I am Star. Y'all, the message I have comes through a movie, okay? And the movie is House Party, okay? And it's the part with John Witherspoon, okay? God rest his soul, Lord bless. Okay, and R.I.P. to him, okay? Because he was very hilarious, okay? But anywho, so in the movie, him and his wife are the neighbors to the house where the party is going on at. And he then complains and complain all night, complain about that little party. He done called the police over there. The police came. And the part that God is pointing out when he said, baby, they still down there dancing. The police that came through and everything, and they still down there dancing, okay? The scripture comes from Joshua 1 and 10. So Joshua ordered the officers of the people, go through the camp and tell the people, get your provisions ready. 3 days from now, you will cross the Jordan here to go in and take possession of the land the Lord your God is giving you for your own. So here's the message, okay? Here's the message for somebody, okay? God has called you to take possession of something. Regardless if God calls you to be a pastor, God calls you to be I just feel a prophet, or it's something. God has called you to do something, okay? And there's somebody that did not want you to do it. They are not happy about you doing it. They feel like you should be doing something else. Anything else. They don't care what you do. They would prefer for you to be in the streets acting a fool all day, every day than what you doing, okay? They don't want you in that position. They want you out of it, out of it, out of it, out of it, out of it. Regardless if this is somebody that they have known you for a long time and they just don't like you in that position, or if this is somebody that they themselves were called or are called by God and they feel like they have this competitive nature that we already know is not of God, and they feel like they got to get rid of everybody that is doing what they doing because they don't like it, and they got to figure out some kind of way. I just got a notification, baby. They got to figure out some kind of way to get you up out that spot. Because not you. You can't have that spot. They got to get you up out of it. They got to get you out of it. They got to get out. They got to get rid of you. They figuring out they doing so much. Going along with the theme, bullying, harassing. They talking down on you like a dog. They gotta find everything wrong with what you say. Anytime you have a message from God, anytime you have a word from God, they gotta sit there and listen to it. Not because they trying to catch the word. No, not that. Not them. They not trying to catch the word from you because they just can't do. They gotta sit there and dissect what you're saying and figure out. They taking notes and they want to say everything that you said that's wrong. And they got to call you out and they got to do all this. And baby, God said they have went and they have saw that you have not stopped glorifying God's name. They went and they saw that you are still preaching the word of God. They went and they saw that God is still giving you messages. They went and they saw that God is still using you. They went and they saw, even if it's not being a pastor or being a prophet, they went and they saw that you still getting up and going to school every day. They went and they saw that you still going to work and you arrive on time, dressed properly. They went and they saw that you still down there dancing. They did everything in their power to stop you. But you still show up to work with a big smile on your face. You still show up. You still show out. You still do exactly what God called you to do. And they mad, upset, bothered, pissed. They frustrated. They are blatantly mad. They can't stand it. It is bothering them. It frustrates them. It angers them. God said they can't stand it. They can't stand it. They can't stand it. But guess what? God called you. The scripture God sent me to is Joshua installed as leader. He was chosen to move them on in to cross the Jordan. What does it say? 3 days from now, you will cross the Jordan here to go in and take possession of the land the Lord your God is giving you for your own. God said, whatever it is, he gave it to you. Whatever it is. If it's a degree, he called you to have that degree. If it's a position, he calls you for that position. If it's a church, he wants you to go and he wants you to be over the church. If he wants you, whatever it is that he wants you to do, you are still getting up and putting your feet on the ground, putting your slippers on, brushing your teeth, washing your face, getting yourself dressed and put together properly so that you can take possession of what God has given you. God said it's yours. They can be as mad as they want to. They can get upset. They can get frustrated, and that's fine. It's okay. But this is not a situation where, it's a such thing as healthy competition and somebody that's just being outright nasty. And I feel like this is somebody that is determined to tear you down. They are determined to tear you down. They say to themselves, oh, watch, I'm going to go and I'm going to spread this lie in this room. And I'm going to go and I'm going to attack them about this and I'm going to attack that. And then I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And watch, I'm going to do this and then I'm going to do that. And I'm going to bring them down. And every day they wake up with a smile on their face, feeling like they finally did it. And then you jig your... They see that they see it didn't work. It didn't work. They thought it worked. They thought it worked. They thought it worked. They thought it worked. They tried everything. Everything to destroy you, everything to tear you down. For some of you, God is saying that this person, there is someone that you had to deal with, someone you thought this person was really interested in you. You may have started dating someone. You may have even married someone thinking that they truly loved you, and you did not realize this person was being used by the enemy to slow you down. This person was intended to destroy you. This person was intended to stunt your growth. This person was intended to pull you. It was intended for this person to destroy you, to pull you down, and to slow you down. But it didn't work. Lord have mercy. It didn't work. They thought that you, regardless if it would have worked out and you were just going to be under that person's control, or if it would have fell apart and you would have been so heartbroken that you would have ran away from God, you ran toward God, and it makes them upset. For some of you, you may have got bad reports. You may have had to deal with scrutiny. You may have had to deal with people looking down upon you. There may have been people that will go around spreading rumors about you. Every time when you do something good, they quiet. But as soon as something bad happens, you do a little hiccup, a little accident, they calling everybody on the phone. Anybody that'll answer, anybody that'll listen, talking down on you and dragging your name, dragging your image, because they just cannot stand that you are actually doing what God has called you to do. And they think to themselves, I finally did it. I finally did it. I have accomplished my mission. I have accomplished my goal. Not once do they think to themselves that this mission and this goal is not of God. They don't care about that. They not listening to that. They carry on with a mission of dragging you down and assuming that now they have finally done it and you will no longer be doing what God instructed you to do because of what they did, and you ignore what they did and carry on doing what God instructed you to do. You show up in good spirits. You show up happy. You show up dressed and ready to tackle the day, and it makes them upset. It ticks them off. You still dancing. They can't stand it. They can't stand it. They don't want you to be walking in your power. They don't want you to be in charge. They don't want you to be doing these things. And I just feel like from the examples, I just feel like this is somebody that is trying to attack your emotions. They want to attack your confidence. They want to attack your stamina. They want you to feel as though you cannot do what God called you to do. They want you to feel as though it is bad for you. They want you to feel as though you not worthy of that. They want you to feel like, oh no, like I just feel like this is somebody, they are really trying to break down your confidence. They want you to feel bad about yourself. They want you to second guess yourself. They want you to feel as though you don't have the authority that God has given you. God said, He didn't make no mistakes when he called you. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't like this is something God did this on purpose. He loves you and he calls you for a reason. He called you to possess the land that he called you to possess, regardless if he called you to be married to somebody or if he called you to start a business. He called you to start a ministry. He called you to go off to college and go to school and obtain a degree. God called you for whatever it is that he called you to do. And while I'm saying that, I feel like there was someone that maybe you wanted to join some kind of group, you wanted to join some kind of clique, some kind of gang. It was something that you were interested in joining while you were in school. And when you got there, they did not accept you. When you got there, they mistreated you. They bullied you. And they made you feel like you were unwelcome. They made you feel like they did not care about you. You know, me, myself, when I was in high school, I was in a sorority. I talked about that already. And, first of all, I'm going to say that for those of you that don't know, sororities and, all of these different kind of cliques and groups and stuff that you have to take oaths to join and you have to pledge to them and you have to take a vow or anything like that. God said we got to be careful with taking oaths and we have to be careful with taking vows because you don't want to put yourself in a position to where you have taken an oath or you have taken a vow to something and God tells you that he wants you to do something that is opposite of what they want you to do. And now you are obligated by your vow or your oath to listen to them instead of listening to God. Be careful with that. I have seen several people say that they are renouncing their oaths to sororities, their oaths to fraternities because they realize that there are some other things going on with these organizations. Regardless, God kept you. You don't even realize it, but God kept you from joining that because he wants you to be joined to him. He wants you to be part of his group. He wants you to be part of his clique. Okay? We Jesus gang over here. God said he wants you to be part of his clique. He wants you to be part of his group. He don't want you to be part of that. And that's okay. And you didn't even realize that it was an attack on you. Now, the attack was meant for you to quit school. The attack was meant for you to give up on this dream, to give up on whatever it is that God has called upon you. But you didn't do that. You gave up on that group and you let it go and you carried on. Sometimes when people are trying to join these things, sometimes when people are trying to join these little cliques and these little groups, they realize that these people don't even like them. See, when I went, I didn't have that, I didn't have an experience where I was treated as if the people that were over me did not like me. It was a situation where they were my friends. And I see what some women and some men go through and they talk about their experiences. Baby, ain't because the way my mouth worked, especially back when, nah. You would not be able to punk me into doing nothing I don't want to do. It's just simply not gonna happen. And sometimes in these situations, I get confused because I don't understand how somebody can allow someone that mistreats them so bad and treat them so poorly and be so mean to them and then be like, yeah, we friends, we homeboys. Nah, we not friends. You was my enemy last week. How can I trust you? You supposed to be my sister. Sister of what? You treat me like But God is saying for somebody, you had to deal with something like that. You had to deal with a lot of backlash anytime you wanted to join a little group or you wanted to join a little clique. It felt like everybody just did not like you and you couldn't understand why. God said you couldn't see that there were people that were talking about you behind your back, and they were really trying to gather together to stop you from what God wanted you to do. They really were trying to get you distracted from your actual mission. So when you separated from that and you turned away from that, God was like, that's what he wanted you to do. He wanted you to turn away from it. He wanted you to give up on it and focus on your studies and focus on what God actually sent you there to do. That's not going to be for everybody, but that is for somebody. It's not for everybody, but it is for somebody. Some people have great experiences and they go off to college and they make all the friends and they are included in all the things and that's wonderful. But that was for somebody. For somebody, you have been wondering why you had such a hard time finding friends, why you had such a hard time finding groups, why you had such a hard time. And even though the enemy was doing this to you in an attempt to get you to turn away from what God instructed you to do, it did not stop you. In fact, it helped you to be able to focus even more on what you wanted to do and what God wanted you to do. Sometimes, when we get involved with as somebody, like once again, when I was in high school, I was in so much stuff, it was hard for me to really focus on one thing. So when you got a lot going on, it's hard to focus. It's hard to focus. It's hard to focus. It is very difficult. It's very difficult. I don't even know how I had time to find myself in trouble because I was in the dance team and then I was in the choir and I was in theater and then I had a job and then I was in a sorority and then I was in a party group. I had a lot of stuff going on. I don't even know how I had all that going on. Like today, baby, y'all gonna have to miss me with all that. Yes, too much. But in reality, I know my mother did it to keep me busy. But in reality, it's just kind of like, I just feel like for somebody, you wanted to have things going on because you wanted to, like, you may have wanted a certain experience. You may have wanted to meet people and you may have wanted to make a lot of friends. But God is saying that was not for you because it would have took you off of the path that he has for you. There's a certain pathway and you needed to be able to focus. Regardless if you needed to focus on God, maybe God is building you. Maybe God was building you up while simultaneously you were going to school. And like maybe you had a thing where you were going to school and starting a ministry. God said you didn't have time to do all of these things. If you would have been doing all these things, you wouldn't have had time for what God wanted you to have time for. And it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. But God said, don't worry about that. But they was trying to stop you, baby. They was trying to stop you, baby. And they saw that every time you come up on there, you dancing. They say, guys, they still dancing. They still dancing. They said they mad, upset, bothered, frustrated, ticked off. They can't stand it. But that's the message. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe.